Welcome in, welcome home, everybody.
Hey.
This is episode 12, season 1. This is the end of season 1. Congratulations. How are we
big.
feeling,
We
fellas?
did it.
That's big, guys.
We did it.
Yeah.
Full class.
It has to be like 1,000 episodes now. We just got to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm Jordan Johnson Hines,
I'm Jamal.
Ryan Poyle.
Avery Adamo.
Michael Riley.
Andrew Hinkson.
and this is Below the Rim Podcast. Listen, we have a crazy episode tonight. Lots to talk about. But first, I want to check in with everybody. What's new? What's exciting? Any topical updates going on?
I might be moving to a Prospect Park near you soon, Jordan.
What?
Gotta
That's
decide
amazing.
whether we're going to renew the lease or not by the 31st. So we're either going to re-sign here or head out to Brooklyn. So some big decisions coming up by Friday.
Dude, you're gonna if you guys decide, because I know you were saying you might go to Queens, Astoria, but if you come to Prospect Park, man, this is beautiful out here. So and we could do the pod. We're closer. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah, we can get together. Yeah, I'll keep you updated.
There you go. It's been like a crazy week. Do you want to start with the NFL? I'll start with the NFL because like Lamar Jackson has requested a trade.
Wow.
He said that he requested this trade from March 2nd. We have some tweets. And what are your thoughts, man? He sends out this big tweet regarding like his time in Baltimore and talking to the Ravens nation. And, what are your thoughts about how Baltimore Ravens have treated Lamar? And do you think they're doing right by him?
I've never seen someone that needed a little help more than Lamar Jackson, I think. They might have dropped the ball here. Former MVP, one of the most talented players in the league by a mile, right? I mean, before Patrick Mahomes showed that he was the most talented player, I have to think that it was Lamar Jackson. Mahomes stole a little bit of his shine, but he's definitely, in my opinion, a top 3 quarterback right now.
Mike?
I mean, he's been a great player, had terrible teams pretty much his whole career. Never had wide receivers, never had running backs. Am I shocked he's making this trade announcement? No. I don't know. I just don't know where he will go. That's more the interesting part to me.
Some reports are saying, Ryan, did you see that the Colts are mulling it over? The Colts are thinking they might, try to go for Lamar. I think the Carolina Panthers, Rivera's trying to get in on that. The Commanders are trying to sign Lamar, and then but the Jets, they're still pursuing Aaron Rodgers, your boy Aaron Rodgers. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Yeah, that trade it's inevitable. I heard Coach Salah say earlier today that, and I said Coach Salah, I'm wearing a Browns. I'll make that known. The Jets head coach Salah said that the trade, he's not worried about it. It's going to come to fruition eventually. And as for Lamar, doesn't surprise me at all. Their GM, Sashi Brown. Same GM that was the GM when the Browns were 0-16. This guy
not Sacha Baron Cohen.
Might be Borat behind it. Why would you not sign Lamar Jackson? It's
crazy.
It's great for the Browns.
Crazy.
Very happy about that, but not surprised at all.
They signed with Deshaun though, man. They they're in with Deshaun for another 4 years. So they kind of they can't just go dive in with another guy. Cam Newton, he went and he was at the Pro Auburn Day. You think Cam Newton's over? You think he's holding on to something, or do you think he has like one last burst left?
I think that might be the first flush of the episode right there. Cam Newton's career being flushed down the drain. He had it. He's past his prime.
We're gonna flush it. So you think Cam? There's no way Cam's coming back. You think he's just wow? Okay.
You know what? I knew it was over for Cam, bro. When he did his own quarterback combine school. And there was kids at the school that were calling him out, telling him that he's washed up.
Whoa.
Man, the writing's on the wall. The shoulder just can't get the ball downfield anymore, and he's lost a step, so he can't run the way he used to. Yeah, it's pretty much over for Cam, man.
You don't think he gets picked back up?
I guess he could be a backup somewhere.
I think he'll play a game this year. Everyone gets injured. I mean, someone's going to be week 14, week 15. There's going to be some terrible team that is looking to fill a quarterback spot because their quarterback's hurt.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, like last year, Tennessee was just grabbed Joshua Dobbs for 1 week because they had nobody else to play.
How long has Newton been in the league for?
Shoot, probably about 10 to 12.
I think 2011, 2012 he got drafted. 2010.
I think so.
That
I was
feels
going
right.
to say 12.
So is that still? Would you still say that's a short career?
Yeah, because his MVP season was 2015, right?
What's the average amount of years?
Well, like I just
I
mean
think
he's
it's
a
5.
quarterback.
I think it's less than
It's
that.
5. It's like something. It's short and a short shelf life in the NFL. So I guess
Yeah.
double the average shelf.
It's
life.
5, right? I think it's even lower than that. I
For
lied.
I
I lied.
assume-
Yeah, no. 2011, round 1, pick 1. Carolina Panthers, 2011.
Yeah, I assume for the average player, it's probably less than 5 years. But I just mean for like an all-star caliber quarterback, is that not kind of a short run for him?
Yeah, I think because he was a mobile quarterback, he used his body a lot. Like if you look at plays,
style of play, man.
put up a play. If not, whatever. But if we got it, we got it. If not, not.
So is that the future on the wall for Patrick Mahomes then?
No.
No.
Because Patrick Mahomes can throw the football. Like
I thought he runs a lot though.
Yeah, but he's
does.
getting out of that.
He slides.
Yeah, he doesn't take the hits.
He slides out of the pocket, and then
It almost feels like when Mahomes is running, though, he keeps the pass option alive at all times.
Right,
Like, you never
right.
know if it's a full-on run or if there's a throw in the back of his mind. Whereas Lamar, when he puts his head down and runs, you know he's not throwing that ball. And it's almost like a 50-50 situation where he's going to run or throw. I think Mahomes, it's probably at least like a 70-30 with him throwing the ball, percentage-wise.
Do you think that someone like Lamar Jackson, who is a mobile quarterback, do you think that teams are obviously more wary of signing a player like that because we guaranteed 4 or 5 years, then he gets injured after 2, then we're screwed. You know what I mean? And it's like, but you're missing the fact that it's Lamar freaking Jackson.
He's game changing.
I was thinking a lot about that this year.
Right.
Because
It also changes your.
he basically had to stay healthy all year in order to get the money that he was looking for. He gambled on himself, right? And he figured that either they're going to put the franchise tag on him or he's just going to try to stay healthy all year and go in the free agent market. And he couldn't do it. We all know the style of play that he plays with. A lot of the quarterback sneaks and trying to rush to the outside. It's just a matter of time before something gets dinged up there. So a lot of these teams know how much his price tag is. To sign Lamar Jackson, you got to put up a hefty check. And I was thinking about it earlier today. I know the Colts do have money and they need a quarterback. So that seems like it could be a good fit down there. But it's going to take a team with a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a big. He's looking for a lot of guaranteed money. It's going to come down to what team doesn't make a move in the draft. And I hope it is the Colts. I would love to see him go there.
Yeah, that'd be a good look.
Yeah, I think he'd be good in that. He'd be great with the Colts. I think he'd be great with the Commanders as well if he stayed in the Dallas or DMV area. That'd be great to see him just flip colors, keep the same home.
There was so Magic joins a whole teaming group for the bid for okay, cool. Thank you, Jamal. Sorry, my producer's in my ear. He's in my in-ears. No.
Never a bad thing.
So yeah, Magic joins the group. I think with Jeff Bezos that they bid $6 billion, and then another group. I think 2 Canadian billionaires are putting in a bid for the Commanders as well. So this is exciting, man.
Canadians.
Yeah. And it's just kind of cool to see like that Magic, like all he's doing is like networking on a high level where he's like, yo, I got all this money and I can invest. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool to see like how he's doing it in a simple, if you normalize it, like, basic level. It's cool.
Yo, I wanted to say this last time when you brought Magic up in this is kind of a hot take, but is not even a hot take. It's a serious question. Is Magic not probably done the most out of any person on the planet who has ever had HIV? Am I wrong?
I you know what?
Think of anyone else.
My brother can attest to it. And Drew, you could attest to this. Even before I auditioned for Showtime, for the HBO show Showtime, I wanted that book by Jeff Pearlman called The Showtime. I used to Google that, like how crazy it was around that time. It was so wild, like Magic, like, and without going too crazy into the book, because you can pick it up. It was like Magic would go to a city and he would have like 2 like women there at the hotel ready. Then he would go to practice, and at practice he would have 2 more women, and then after practice at the hotel before the game, he would have two. So I can't make this up. Like, it
You
was
should watch this pod.
no, but it was
crazy.
just it was crazy, man. And but to think like how reckless and how crazy that time must have been. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm saying, it was obviously before COVID, and there was no mask being used or anything
Right,
like
right.
that,
Well,
obviously.
yeah. So,
Okay,
but no, he turned it around.
Who'd you audition for in Winning Time?
I auditioned for Magic twice, Kareem, Michael Cooper, what's his name? Jamal, what's his name?
Wilkes, Jamal Wilkes.
Jamal Wilkes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually super funny that you just brought that show up, because I actually just watched the first episode of it like 2 nights ago.
I couldn't bring myself to watch it, and like the real Lakers were like saying, this ain't it. This isn't the real.
Okay.
You know?
It's funny. Right after the first episode, there was like 10 points as I was watching the show that I was like, man, this is like, I know for a fact that's bullshit. Like I watch fucking, I've been watching shit on ball my entire life. So like there's a lot of stories that they talk. The way Jerry West is bullshit. The way Red Auerbach is bullshit. Even the
Jerry
way
West complained about it enough. Like he was.
Yeah,
like,
Jerry West was gonna sue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Very, very west of him.
Basically everybody that is in the entire even Kate, Buddy's who is it? Fucking the point guard, Norm Nixon. Norm Nixon's son plays Norm Nixon in it. Yeah. And
are you serious? His real son?
That's his
real
actual
son.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
Norm Nixon is in an interview talking about it. And same thing. Even he is like, it's not factual at all.
Wow.
So like after watching the first episode, I was like, man, I don't want to watch 10 episodes of this and just be upset the entire time. That like one of the big things that pissed me off right away was that they kept saying that Jerry West never won a championship. And he has won a championship. It's just they keep saying it in the show to like make it seem like a bigger thing when he did win a championship. So I don't understand why they would say that like 18 times over when it's really easy to just be like, type in Jerry West's fucking career and to find out that he won a championship. I think it was 72. So like there was quite a few things that pissed me off a lot. Jerry West specifically, how they portrayed him and made him seem like he was just the worst human being. And like I've actually always liked Jerry West. He says the dopest shit about Kobe. He says the dopest shit about Magic. Like I've never seen him say bad things about Magic. So for him to make it seem like the very first episode, he didn't even want them to draft Magic and was like, they almost made it seem like it was a race thing. And that confuses me too. Like there was a lot of things in the first episode alone that I was like, I don't know if I could get through this shit.
So I'm glad I didn't get the part because
it would have been a sick part regardless. You're connected to doing things with like the Boston Celtics and the Lakers and the NBA. It's still cool, but like it changes the narrative for a lot of people if you don't know the stories on things and then you watch this and assume that it's all facts. And that's why I don't really like when they make a biopic or when they make like some sort of story on things. They should really tell fucking people that this is not all facts, and they don't do that at all. Like there was an Aaliyah movie that came out that fucking
it's terrible.
Yeah, actually, my buddy directed that movie.
Terrible.
Shout out to Bradley Walsh. But fucking Brad, he had even told me that when they were doing that movie, they had all the licensing for everything going into the movie. And then the family, like basically a week before they're going into production, freaked out and were like, we want $1 million to give you the licensing for all these stories and all the songs.
Was that the one Zendaya was in, and then she turned she was in it, and then
this is a Lifetime movie. This happened a little while.
No. Yeah, this what Zendaya was originally casted as Aaliyah, and then
actually,
yeah, there was some backlash, and yeah, she ended up like turning down the role and giving it to someone else. Mike, are you a huge fan of sports movies like the biopics? First of all, are we flushing the take that Avery said? So do we agree that Showtime was a flush, or
it's Winning Time for one?
Oh, whatever. But flush it.
I'm that much of a Laker fan that I watched every damn episode. I think I watched a few episodes twice on that series, man. I was hooked on it. I can tell you. I did get the feeling that I'm not saying the storyline was great or the acting was great, but I mean, I just love the Lakers that much, man. I wanted to kind of just get some more information on how some of the series went back then. And what I was intrigued by is how Jerry West was able to, not Jerry West, but Dr. Jerry Buss was able to finagle his way into buying the Lakers in the first place.
Yeah.
They show you that there was a guy who was just broke and his wife was taking a divorce settlement, and Dr. Jerry Buss just came in and had enough money that he could offer to get the team. But in reality, he didn't have any money. He had to try to pool some assets together and buy the Lakers, man. So, I mean, the way he was able to pull that off was super impressive to me. I felt like Jeannie Buss maybe wrote that storyline because she's the only one that comes out looking good. Like, can you imagine being Cookie Johnson watching that series and seeing what Magic having girls hidden in his closet, girls hidden under the bed when Cookie's trying to be his only one main squeeze and Magic was just boning down every girl in LA.
Do you think that's what?
Yeah, a lot of people did look bad.
Do you think that's why Magic doesn't fuck with the show? Because he's like, man, this show just shows me fucking blasting girls all the time.
I think that's why he got mad, was because it made it almost like glorified that, like, this is what people want to see, so we're gonna show it. Whereas like there was like a whole thing, like it was like about winning. Like I guess that's why they called it Winning Time. But
who's the guy that wrote the book again?
Jeff Pearlman. Pearlman.
And Jeff Pearlman's who?
He was like a beat writer that followed. He's like Dan Wojcicki now. Like he was like a beat writer for the Lakers, and then he was like in the locker room and all that stuff. It was a really good book. When I was doing the pilot for the Endgame, Justin Lin, the director of Fast and Furious, he read the book too. So it was cool. We were on set. We were Laker fans. He went to UCLA. Oh, there you go. That's
the
Jeff Pearlman book.
Zeke Elliott's gonna end up, man. Former Cowboy.
He got released by the Cowboys. He never got back to like where he fell from, man. Does he go to a contender? Does he go to somebody pick like Ryan? Where do you think he can go? Someone like Ezekiel Elliott.
So there's quite a few teams at cap space right now. I could see but I could see him going to contender. You know, at this point, he wants to win. I'm sure he feels a little smited by Dallas. I could see him going to contender, maybe backing up Christian McCaffrey per se.
Woo. Mike?
It's funny you say that because the 49ers came to my mind when we first started thinking about this too. Personally, I'd like to see him go to Miami because I'm a Dolphins fan, and we don't have any good running backs. But yeah, I think he'll take less money and go to somewhere to a contender. I don't think he's going to just try and cash in and play somewhere.
But doesn't Miami have Tyreek?
Yeah, he's a wide receiver.
So they don't play the same. They don't play the same position.
No. So you could have Tyreek and Zeke.
Oh, right, because he's a running back.
Yeah.
I thought. Okay, I thought they were both running back because he did running plays when he was on.
He
Kansas
looks
City.
like a running back, but he's a wide receiver. Tyreek Hill is so short, right?
Right. Okay, all right.
And it's so fast.
All right. Well, I mean,
we forgot to mention though, Jordan, when we're talking about sports movies and we're talking about people with a wild lifestyle. I mean, who's more wild than Dennis Rodman, right? And they're making a biopic about him.
Yeah,
who's going to play him?
Jonathan Majors. Yeah,
Jonathan Majors was signed up. So I mean, Jordan, the ball it has been dropped, and it's an open season, man. We're going to be getting some opportunities here, I think.
I didn't know that he was doing one at all.
Oh, the Dennis Rodman?
Yeah.
Well, with everything that kind of happened in the last couple of days, I don't know if that is going to be pushed or, that whole thing with Jonathan Majors is pretty crazy. So, but yeah, I
publicity for that movie, some free publicity.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, what happened with Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, what was it?
He got arrested for assault and it was a domestic dispute. Yeah. In the back of a cab. Yeah, so he got arrested.
Dude in the Creed bar with his girlfriend. That's the star of Creed 3, the protagonist there. But word is he was leaving the bar with his girlfriend, and he was trying to text another girl, and his present girlfriend was trying to either grab the phone or maybe look over the shoulder, and one thing led to another, and her report is that he put hands around her neck. So the next day, I guess she went into the station with visible signs of assault. And just like that, man, like that story hit the internet like wildfire, man, even quicker than the Andrew Wiggins story, if you ask me.
Oh, man, crazy. I didn't even see that. That's crazy. I love that it's literally just he was texting a girl, though. Like, classic.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Well, you
Uh,
figure when a guy gets to the height, he was.
I was thinking that too,
kind of
you know?
reaching new heights in his career, right? And
Yeah.
that tends to be where someone's insecurities might get to their boiling point. If that
Yeah.
girl or had any insecurities at all before, I guess they would be even bigger now.
So before we go to our first commercial break, I just want to do some fun facts, man, real quick to, I guess, lighten up the mood a little bit, So did y'all know that there was a dude named Don Johnson? Don Johnson was a poker player, and he won $15 million in Atlantic City. So I was looking this up, and I have a cool little stat story here. The most, I Googled this, and it was like the most money that someone has spent in a club in one night, because I was listening to this story with Chandler Parsons and Kobe.
Yeah, that story's sick.
Right? Sorry, mom just texted me. Mama. And he was like how Kobe, Chandler Parsons, they're in LA. Kobe was like, talking shit to Chandler Parsons, and then was like, yo, come to the supper club, and then they go to the supper club. All the OGs are there. Marcus Camby, all these, OGs. And then the bill comes, and the waitress beelines towards Parsons, gives him the bill, $22,000. Parsons is like, whoa, no, I can't afford this. Like, his card would be declined. And then the waitress was like, Mr. Bryant wants you to sign for it. So it was pretty cool that, Kobe paid it, but it was like just pulling his chain a little bit, letting him sweat. But I Googled it afterwards, and
That's awesome.
Jay-Z, Barclays Center Private Lounge in New York City. That's when the Barclays Center first opened. He spent in one night $250,000.
You
at
think
the
that's
club.
you think that's the most?
That is the next one. Next to that is LeBron James. After they won the Miami Heat championship, he spent $170,000.
Then I bet you there's a higher number.
Real.
The most is actually the dude I was just talking about, Don Johnson. He spent like $273,000 in one night, and it was crazy because he had a bottle of Cristal and he sprayed it all over the dancing floor.
That's because Don Johnson was probably an ex-70s porn star. What kind of name is Don Johnson?
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because he said he would play poker and he would have like porn stars or like beautiful women beside him to distract the other player. So it was just crazy, like looking at.
Or he just wanted to look at some titties.
Below the Rim Podcast. We'll take our first commercial break, and then we'll get into our NBA. We already talked about NBA, but we'll get into our NBA, and we'll get it done. All right.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ryan, we'll start with you real quick. NBA is going nutso. I want to talk. I want to start with the take. Draymond Green was on his podcast, Tristan Thompson, and he said he had teammates terrified of LeBron James. Are you agreeing with Mario Chalmers? Do you think people didn't fear James as much as they did Jordan back in the day?
I don't believe Mario Chalmers for 1 second. That man did nothing but ride LeBron's coattails to some championships, and this is how he repays him? This type of disrespect?
Disrespect.
Yeah,
Another
get
L
out of
for
here, Mario
Kansas.
Chalmers.
So you flush Mario Chalmers' take, or do you agree with
I'm
it?
flushing that take. I mean, if there's like a level for little water or a lot of water, man, I'm smashing all that. Maybe get a bidet, flush them. Double flush that.
You know what I'm saying? I agree with you. Lots of stuff going on though. Luka is saying he's not having fun anymore. They won last night or a couple nights ago. They had a crazy pass. He had a crazy pass on the baseline. Mike.
Oh, that pass was sick. I remember
It was sick. LeBron even
crazy.
tweeted that.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think? And this is for the panel, but do you think Dallas is going to pull it together to get into the play-in before, because I think they're right behind OKC right now.
They're in the 11th spot, 37 and 39 right now.
Yeah.
I don't actually. I don't think things are going well in Dallas. I don't think the team's doing well. I don't think they're going to win enough games to get into the playoffs, especially with the teams that are in front of them. And then I think they have major issues going into the offseason because I don't know. They're going to re-sign Kyrie Irving, I believe. But
if they can.
Well, they can sign him if he wants to go there. But
yeah,
he might go to the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he allows it.
I guess. I mean, I would prefer him to leave. I'm sure Luka would at this point too.
You think Luka doesn't enjoy playing with him?
No, I think after 20 games, that ship has sailed.
Wow.
Quick.
Okay.
And
Drew?
like it's been quick.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the saying, I hate to say I told you so. Well, that is not me, man. Well, if there's one thing I love saying is that I told you so. Because I pretty much knew Luka and Kyrie were not going to work, man.
You said that from day one.
Yep,
you did.
Two ball-dominant guards that play a similar style. It's the worst combination since LeBron and Westbrook being forced together like two peas in the wrong pot. So I'm just looking at this from afar, and I'm watching Dallas implode, and it's a wasted year in Luka's career. Pretty much. Do you think? I just want to real quick. Do you think? Because you said something about Russ. Do you think the stats and the over analytics of the stats, do you think that has plagued the NBA and got into people's heads because now they're going by stats and maybe that's what messed up the chemistry between LeBron and Westbrook? Because back in the day, they just played none of this other stuff. Like, do you think that played a play? What else? Like the LeBron and Westbrook combination, to me, it didn't work because they're just way too similar, but LeBron's better at it. Like LeBron can shoot a little bit where Westbrook can't shoot at all. They're both guys that like to run downhill and they're going to set up a beautiful pass or try to finish if you don't come and take away the shot. But with Luka and Kyrie, what I noticed in the very first game, I think most people on the outside looking in were thinking Luka is going to be the main guy and Kyrie was going to be the supporting player.
Off the ball, yeah.
When I watched game one, I'm seeing Kyrie looked amazing. To me, he is still better than Luka. That's probably not going to be a popular opinion, but when Kyrie's on his game, there's not much players that I would take above him in the NBA. But there's just something about his style of play. It's almost like he's so entertaining that you kind of end up being a spectator. You stand back and watch. And it's a lot of one-on-one stuff. And he's the oohs and the ahs. So it's just a bad mix. I think kind of Kyrie would need to go to a team where either he is the main guy or the main guy is so obvious that it's better than him. To where even he has to accept the fact that he's not the main guy.
But that doesn't work with Kyrie.
The exact situation he would need.
I just don't think that works. I think Kyrie always thinks he's the best guy.
I agree with you. Unless he's even when he was with LeBron, right?
I'll just say he's had LeBron and he's had Kevin Durant.
And he was with Boston too, Jaylen Brown, and he had Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Avery?
I think that if this doesn't work out in this next little while, specifically if they don't make the play-in, right now they got Philly, Miami, Atlanta, Sacramento, Chicago, San Antonio. So, like, they're probably losing to Philly. Who knows if Joel Embiid is still out? If he's still out, I say they probably win that game. I don't know. They could probably go 3-3. So, it's not like it's not doable. Fucking OKC has been playing good this last while. I think
surprising.
Yeah, I think if Kyrie doesn't make it work in Dallas, the media is gonna tear him apart, and they're gonna start saying that the narrative's been that for a while, like that Kyrie hasn't really helped teams. Like since he's left LeBron, he went to Boston. He's there for a couple years. They bounce. They end up going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the finals when he leaves, he goes to Brooklyn. It doesn't really work. It's a fucking fiasco the entire time. And now he's in fucking Dallas, and it seems like it's kind of been a fiasco because, one, they have no height on the entire team. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. They get absolutely destroyed in the paint. They fucking can't catch a rebound to save their life. And it's because, the biggest guy on the floor usually for them is either 6'6" or 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". Like, they never really have any height on the floor. And the NBA has quite a bit of height right now. So, I don't know. I'm thinking
I've never heard anyone say that Kyrie is lacking at all in any type of skill department, but the cancer in the locker room tag that's starting to follow him around might actually have something to it. You know what I mean? Like,
saying all this, I don't even think it's Kyrie's fault, though. Like, I do think that a big part of it is their team. Like, a lot of people have been saying Finney Smith being gone is a huge part. And that shows. Like, they don't have defense on the floor and they don't have height. A lot of that was never Luka's job on any team, and it was never Kyrie's job on any team. So it's not like that's to blame. They're producing offensively, but like that's what they're brought there to do. It's just the team needs to be a better that's why one of the things in the media that kind of bummed me out is when the team starts fucking playing super bad, and then one player just gets thrown under the bus so hard. So I think that's what's going to happen with Kyrie. If this doesn't go well and he decides to bail, he's getting thrown under the bus hard. But I think if they don't make the play-in, that he's might even end up having to stay just because he's like, fuck, if I leave right now, it makes it look like he's the reason.
Do you think LeBron is going to bring him in to LA in the summertime? Do you think LeBron has stopped the chemistry that the Lakers kind of had before he came back from his foot injury?
Well, people seem to think that's where he's going.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I wouldn't like that, but I like D'Lo Russell, how he's playing right now, man. When Russell's healthy.
Yeah, they're saying they're talking about they want to re-sign him.
Yeah.
So if they re-sign him, they won't even have the money to be able to put Kyrie on the books.
Wow. Right.
Yeah,
So they went young. Go ahead, sorry.
They traded D'Lo, and he got better, and then they brought him back for cheap. Like, it was honestly a good business move.
Genius.
Score one for Blinkins.
Oh, hold on now. Let's not get too crazy. They have no first round picks for like the next 10 years. But
Right.
Oh, it's all about getting Brown another championship.
That's what it's about. Win now, win championships.
Win now.
So two things real quick, because we're rapid fire going in. So speaking of fans, homeboy, Bradley Beal had a little spat with the fan in Washington, where he was like, he didn't win the bet or the parlay or whatever, and he was like, he like hit a fan's hat off his head and said, yo, I don't care about your bets or your parlays, bro. And that was a thing that Jamal was saying on one of the other pods, is like, the bets get bigger. It's bigger. Bigger
the better, right?
Dan, if I'm saying this name, Mike, you might know Dan LeBatard and Stephen A. Smith. They were on the podcast. Dan LeBatard said what Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless did to sports, he hates them because of what they did, because these two are journalists coming in and they are credible. But, a lot of people kind of make their own podcast or whatever, and they just start having these debates, and, they don't have that journalistic integrity or something. So thoughts?
Okay, wait. What's the actual question? That fuck you.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I guess my question is this. Do you think with all the betting and the parlays, what Dame was saying about how the NBA is changing, and then how the sports analytics is changing, like everything is about the sports, it's personal, and that's the question. Like, is it too much? Where's sports heading? I don't know what my question is, but that's the topic. Go.
I'm gonna go with this little take on this whole the gambling aspect of it, because what I'm understanding is that there was a couple.
Was that question horrible? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I got the gist of it. I'm understanding there was a couple fans that had money on the game, and the way the game went, they were kind of holding Bradley Beal responsible for losing money on a game. And that's a big weight to bear if you're a player. You got these fans that kind of hold you responsible for them losing their paycheck, when in reality they probably shouldn't have bet on the game to begin with. But it kind of just puts it into perspective, because I've always been the kind of person that kind of follows a certain team in a sport. Like, I'm a Leaf fan, I'm a Laker fan, and I don't really watch every game. I watch my teams play, especially if it's a big team that they're playing. So I'm not the kind of guy that's going to bet on 6 games on a Tuesday night and have all my money wrapped up in the Washington Wizards against Utah Jazz.
Clinch the playoffs.
Right. I don't want to be forced, but I will admit that when you have money riding on a game, man, it could be a turtle race, and you're going to be heart.
It feels different.
So do you feel that it's getting too much, where these players are these fans are feeling entitled, and do you just think it's just becoming like it's too much information, data overload? Like, do we just need to like chill out a little bit, let the players play, and let the stats become what they are? Or,
Here's the question. All right. Do you think it's going to get to a point where a fan makes a bet, loses, makes it his mission to go after the athlete and injure them because of the fact that they made that bet online?
Like, fuck this game. What the fuck?
God forbid. What's that Wesley Snipes movie, The Fan, right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
actually.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like that. So I feel
And
like that's
it's
where it's
possible.
heading. Right. Exactly.
Man, you ever
Exactly.
seen Hardball? That shit's
Remember a
possible.
tennis
Hey,
player-
G baby. I love that movie.
That movie
man.
made me cry.
Oh, I
100%.
cried like 3 times.
2%.
Hey man, yo, G baby. Hey man, G baby said what's up, man. No, he said I can't remember. That was a
You
good
know I'm
one.
putting up
When
a
you
scene
come
right
to
after
think
that.
I
right?
know,
Put
perfect.
your
Hey,
hands in the air.
yeah.
These are true players. We see some ladies tonight.
And then
Put your hands in the
what? Come on, this is
baby.
Keanu Reeves. Come on, Tiki. I'm out.
God,
Tiki.
Keanu was in the movie.
Yeah, man.
This guy's virtually in every movie.
Every fucking
Yo,
movie.
Tiki, by the way, looked like he was a crackhead.
What's his name? Paul Hocko or something?
I
can't
don't know.
remember.
It looked like he had a drug past and future. Okay?
Yo. Oh, speaking of how he looked, best dressed in the NBA. I'm gonna go with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's that.
In the entire league.
Sammy, I say yes.
I'm
yes.
gonna say Westbrook. No, I'm joking.
Oh no, that's good. That's good.
No, he's in my top 10.
Westbrook's been winning, by the way. Shout out
I'm
to all
gonna
the
say
the
whoever
Clippers
just
fans out here.
wears normal casual wear.
Klay
Doesn't,
Thompson.
not Cal Kuzma. That's my vote.
Not okay.
I got
okay.
Kevin Love. GQ Kevin Love.
I
Okay,
like it.
Drew.
I kind of like that Men in Black shorts suit set LeBron wore at one time with the
All right.
Like
All
the
right.
suit
right,
and tie
yeah.
with the shorts. I
Yeah.
was feeling that one. That sticks out in my head. But I'm also a little bit distracted by that oversized sweater outfit Kuzma wore that one day. I remember
The
that,
pink
that
one, the
sweater
pink
went
one.
viral.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
big
My
one.
my,
Yeah.
my top pick,
Turning memes.
Tim Duncan.
Wow.
Man,
He's
Tim Duncan with dreads
the worst.
actually looks chill. Tim Duncan
Yeah,
with dreads
he
looks
looks
like
like
a
the Grateful
completely
Dead
different
music.
person. Yeah. Like
That's
I would
good.
approach Tim Duncan with dreads.
Tim, but you know what's crazy? Mike, who's best dressed? Real quick, my bad.
I would say Ben Simmons because he's had so much time to work on it.
What? Oh, flush it,
Yeah,
flush
I
it. Wow. Well, that's the next thing. The Simmons he's out for the season. They're resting him for the rest of the season. Brooklyn Nets.
I didn't hear that, but that's fucking
Okay.
jokes because Jack Vaughn was literally quoted saying that he's like, we're not resting Ben Simmons the rest of the season. So whoever said that is an idiot. Okay?
Right.
Like, lost his mind about
Right.
it like a couple weeks ago. So
That's crazy.
It's funny that they just announced that because Jacques Vaughn fucking lost his mind about it. So
Yeah.
He's the one that announced it.
Yeah, exactly.
that's even funnier.
He had to get out in front of
What's
that
also
one.
funny to me is when you're a good player and your team is out of the playoffs, it's called shutting you down. Like Damian Lillard, it's described as he's being shut down for the season. But Ben Simmons is like he's out for the year, just out. Like, come on, man. Does anyone give a shit about Ben Simmons right now? He's not moving the meter, unfortunately, and we're used to him being out more than being in.
Man,
So,
it's
I mean,
crazy
it's just another
though,
bad bump.
how quickly
Have you
I've said
seen
this
what
for a
he's
long
owed, too, in
time.
money?
The NBA is
Ben
what have you
Simmons is
done for me
owed, I think,
lately?
35 mil for this year,
Yeah.
and then 40 mil for the next 2 years after that. Like he's
That's
got a guaranteed $150 million coming to him, and we wonder why he doesn't care if he plays or not.
That's crazy.
He's got
Right.
the back of a 50-year-old, and he's not rehabbing it. He knows that he's made his money. I saw he was a 3-time All-Star. You know, the guy could play, but his big game was defense, rebounding, passing, playmaking. He never really was much of a scorer, but he's not doing any of that nowadays. I think he needs to be flushed simply for the fact that he fleeced $150 million, and he's going to ride off into the sunset.
Man, I
Right.
seen him play this year. And like this year I seen him play, and he actually was decent. Had 22 points against Indiana. I
He
think
found
they lost-
other ways to be efficient.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
I
crazy
almost
how
feel like this, man. It's almost like he realizes that the analytics people have figured out that obviously he's not a good
That's what
shooter.
I'm saying, man.
And teams have
It's
just
the
learned to
analytics.
defend him, right? Yeah, like teams have learned to defend him, and he had two ways to do it. Once that happened, he could either improve his shot, which would take work, or he can just say, "Fuck it, they've exposed me, and I'm done." And he's obviously shown to be someone who doesn't ride for what he believes in. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of how he was dating, I believe it's Kendall Jenner. He was dating Kendall Jenner, and his best friend at the time was Booker. And him and Booker went on a double date, And on that double date, that's when Booker exchanged numbers with Kendall. And by the end of the night, she was dating Booker instead of Ben Simmons. And I
So many
honestly
shots
feel,
fired all the time.
dude, I honestly feel like that spiral into depression is what ruined his career. Whether you want to call it the curse of the Kardashians and all that bullshit, or him just getting emotionally scarred, I think we can put some blame in her lap.
Oh man,
Jamal, you got a question?
I think that's a good
I
take.
do. I got a question.
that's the best take.
Ryan's like, I think that's a good. Right.
All right, gentlemen. I don't know if you've ever meditated, but I want you to visualize for a moment. All right, for a moment, I want you to think about Michael Jordan, not statistically, but Michael Jordan from watching, intuitively seeing and sensing. Okay, cool. Now think about Michael Jordan statistically. Doesn't he seem like a god now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's almost like when you look at a player statistically, you forget how they actually play, and you're just looking at like algorithms.
Wow.
Ones
Wow.
and zeros.
Wow.
So I think personally,
Great point.
you gotta still consider the person that they're playing, how often they're injured, how fast they heal, and then you got to take in their statistics, not just one or the other.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Right.
No,
We got
that's
to figure. We figured out Ben Simmons. This podcast has, just to recap for everybody, analytics guys figured him out. Kendall Jenner, D-Book, spiral into depression. Do we miss anything?
I just want to back up for 1 second. I know everyone hates analytics guys, but like, was it analytics guys that figured out Ben Simmons, or was it just anybody watching TV? Like, he just couldn't shoot. Like, it wasn't hard to figure out he couldn't shoot.
Okay, time out. If Ben Simmons not being able to shoot is the biggest reason why he's not in the NBA or whatever, why is Westbrook still in the NBA then?
Because at least Westbrook tries.
Like,
to his detriment.
Yeah.
But,
I heard quite a few people saying this, that's who he should be talking to. Is Westbrook shouldn't be in the NBA if fucking
I have Westbrook on the line right now.
Ben Simmons is a bigger version of him. Like he should just go and play with him, figure out what he does, and then like, how are you still starting in the NBA?
Clippers are
Like,
hooping.
I'm 10 years younger than you. I should be better. Like,
Let's do another one. Westbrook. Not statistically, think about Westbrook.
Yeah. That's a player. He's one of the most athletic players to ever play the game. Absolutely.
Now, statistically,
as a player, though, he
Triple
does
doubles.
the worst decisions all the fucking time.
He does.
If you were any
turnover
if you
machine.
were on Westbrook's team playing with Westbrook all day, you'd be doing this. You fucking idiot. All day. Like,
right?
He'd piss you off. You're taking bad shots, bad passes.
So Charles Barkley got in on the the whole debate. He had a little quote for Kevin Durant. He said he's very sensitive, great player. He's part of the generation who think he can't be criticized. He's never looked in the mirror and says, "Man, is that a fair criticism?" And then KD said, "This ain't getting tiring, Chuck. I'll never respect the words that come out your mouth, fam. Just deal with it." So
you gotta love KD, man.
And then on the flip side, Charles Barkley said about LeBron, no scandal. To be number one, ready at 18, to where he is 20 years later, the greatest scorer in NBA history. I think it's the greatest story in sports history. For a guy to be that good from day one and never screw up is amazing. So, thoughts?
Pretty good story.
Bronny James is killed it in the dunk off, but go ahead, thoughts. Just Kelly Robinson. Just Kelly Robinson, 57 and 0.
Dunk off has lost a lot of relativity. The dunk off is not nearly as important as it used to be, but seeing LeBron James Jr. out there throwing down some of the dunks that looked a lot like his dad's dunks. Some of those power tomahawks, you know what I mean?
Did you see it? Did you see it? He was leaguing. He was leaguing. Yeah. Very athletic.
Yeah, he
jumped over Bryce
a lot in a couple years, man.
Yeah.
I remember seeing highlights of him a couple years ago, and he could barely dunk, and now he's above the rim. So whatever shock treatments he's doing or extra weights he's doing with dad is definitely working, man. Shout out to Bronny James starting to reach his potential.
Do you think KD, on the flip side, do you think KD is going to win something? Do you think outside of Golden State?
Not this year.
Wow. But you guys just said when he got traded to Phoenix, like, oh, winning, everything.
I still think there's a chance.
100%. There is a chance. Then you know how I feel about Kevin Durant, though, Jordan? And guys, you know how I feel about Kevin Durant, man. Like, there are players who play the game, and when they lose, they can't sleep at night. Like I really get the feeling if Kobe Bryant lost games, he was not sleeping at night, and he's probably yelling at the kids a little bit louder than normal. I really get the feeling that Kevin Durant, if he goes on the floor, shows to the world that he's the best player on that given night, and is able to show that he is super talented, the W's or the L's aren't really that important to him.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Only because I don't know. Maybe actually, you might be right. Because it might be. You might be right. Because if that wasn't true, then like the best situation that he had was in Golden State, and he was offered to stay. So like he could have stayed in a good situation.
He wanted to do it on his own.
Exactly.
He wanted to do it on his own.
He focuses on the media way too much.
Yeah.
He always cares
And he has burner accounts too, right? He's there and he's like replying like a fan, you know, like he's like Kevin Durant is good. Like
what Chuck
don't come for me, KD. I love you. You know what I'm saying?
What Chuck said was factual. He is sensitive. I've said this. Yeah. It's funny
because he's part of that new generation, right? That that different, not even the new entitled type of players because he's older than those guys, but he is that new generation where they are sensitive. You know what I mean? Like, remember, he came in the league like 4 or 5 years after LeBron. So you know what I mean? Like,
I don't even think it's even being sensitive too, though. I think it's just if you're in a spot where you have like every media outlet that involves basketball talking some sort of smack about you at some point, then like you're gonna just be pissed. Like, that's not even being sensitive. It's just like, I think a big thing is he's clearly not one to want to shut it out. Like, I think he sees this shit and looks for it. I think there's probably a lot of guys in the NBA that like just don't care. Like, I heard Paul Pierce talking about it the other day where he was like, I didn't look up shit about me talking, like people talking about me. Like, why would I care about somebody who's not even in the game talking about me? Different age. Yeah. Most of these guys, like KD should care about what the guys in the NBA think about him. And like, that's what it seems like Kyrie thinks about. Like, I don't think Kyrie fucking cares about the media. Like, I think Kyrie cares about what the people in the NBA think about him. And no one really says anything bad about him in the NBA. It's the media that cusses him out.
NBA players love Kyrie.
Yeah. So
they respect him. Yeah.
Like, it's crazy that they were on a team together and they still kind of same shit. I don't know if that relationship is in a good place because they all seem to bounce, but who knows, man? I think that if winning changes everything too. If KD wins, no one's going to say shit. So if they lose, he's going to be at some point, people are going to say something negative about him. It's just what happens. Chuck says that all the time.
Yeah.
That when he lost, he was the guy to get blamed. And to be fair, he was the best player on the team. Like, it sucks, but someone has to take the blame.
Yeah.
Coach is going to get fired. The star player is going to get fucking cussed out.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think it's around that time. As soon as Kevin Durant comes back, which is next game, I hear he's making his return.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Playoff start. It's not going to be Kevin Durant's not going to be the problem. Booker's not going to be the problem. Somehow, some way, we all know that their little point guard is going to find a way to get injured before they get to the promised land. Because
I don't know.
CP3 has some of the worst injury luck I could ever think of. Every time.
His entire career. Every time.
Yep.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's almost like rest him until the finals or something.
Right?
You know? Yeah.
I don't think that they get it done. I think Chris Paul's going to get hurt, and to your point, he's going to take the blame away from KD. But you can't throw a championship team together like that. Like, when was the last time someone made a big trade like this, and it worked out right away? It takes a year for these teams to gel, and that's why I think there's really 4 teams that can win it. It's
Boston
Denver,
Celtics,
Boston, Bucks, and Warriors.
The 08 Boston Celtics. The trade worked out. That's the only time, really.
Fellas, we got to get out of the NBA right now. We can talk about it for hours, but we need to get our NHL update before we get into our final thoughts. So I'm going to go into the NFL. So I'm going to go into the NHL update and hit us with the graphic, Jamal.
Nice graphic, Jamal.
That was hilarious. All right, so this is the NHL update. The Toronto Maple Leafs have clinched the playoffs. Mr. Drew Hinkson, please, sir.
I'd like to say a special congratulations to the Toronto Maple Leafs on, qualifying for the playoffs with another week left in the season. But this is when it gets kind of nervous for me because we already know we're playing Tampa Bay Lightning. Right now, we're 7 points up on Tampa Bay. And obviously, whoever finishes first gets the home ice advantage, right? So it's looking like we're going to get that home ice advantage. But we got about 7 or 8 games left. And you never know with hockey who could get hurt, who could get dinged up. So I really feel like personally going and bubble wrapping some of our star players and making sure there's no ice in their driveway, making sure that their cars are oiled up and have full air in the tires, making sure their wives are giving them the right foods and fluids, making sure the kids aren't getting on their nerves, because we really just want to get through these last 7 or 8 games with no extra injuries and just going to that first round healthy as hell and maybe finally win a first round in 20 years. Boston Bruins still first in the league. They are on another win streak. In the Eastern Conference, you got the New York Rangers getting a little hot. Carolina Hurricanes are looking good.
Shout out to New York.
New Jersey Devils are looking good. Any of those teams can make a run. It's wide
Shout
open.
out to Jersey.
Shout out to New
Tri-state
Jersey,
area.
man. They signed some good players. They're a very quick team. So, I'd love to see a Canadian team get all the way to the finals this year. Keep your eyes out again for Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. Toronto Maple Leafs are kind of getting hot at the right time of the year. John Tavares is healthy. He's a key. He's an older veteran, the captain of the team. We need him to be healthy. And we made a really big trade towards the end of the year, signing Ryan O'Reilly, former MVP of the Stanley Cup playoffs of the St. Louis Blues. And a week into his tenure on the Leafs, he got a broken finger. And we've been waiting for him to come back. So at the end of the day, when Ryan O'Reilly does come back to the team and we're fully healthy, it's going to feel like we signed a free agent right before the playoffs. And I'm hoping that little energy burst gets us over the hump and gets us to the second round this year, man. Fingers are crossed.
Fingers crossed. O'Reilly, what do you have to say, sir?
I just got a quick question real quick. Who do you think is going to get into the last wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference?
You know what? I'm looking at maybe the New York Islanders because they play a grinding style. It's like they're the most boring team in the NHL, if you ask me. They are very boring. They play a grinding style. They just want to frustrate you and wait for you to make a mistake, which is why I love the fact that they're probably going to play the Boston Bruins in the first round. They're going to frustrate the hell out of the Bruins, and I'm hoping maybe they can pull that upset, and the Leafs won't have to play the Bruins.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good time to be a New York guy right now. I mean, in hockey, they got 2 New York teams in New Jersey that are all set to roughly be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Not bad.
The
Not bad.
Knicks.
Right. Julius Randle.
And if you're sliding into baseball, I mean, you got the Mets spending all kinds of money, and Yankees.
We have to get into baseball next week. We're going to do a little bit more a deep dive into baseball, tennis, and kind of just bring different topics into the show. We got to start wrapping up. You guys are incredible, but I gotta go soon. Final thoughts, and then we'll get the heck out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. Final thoughts are, I think fucking this next little week here is going to be crazy in the NBA world. I think that if Dallas doesn't make it, that's going to be fucking insane for people. The media is going to absolutely destroy them. I think that LA still has an actual shot of making it out of the play-in, and they could beat Denver. Denver, I don't think scares anybody in the league. And who knows after that? I don't know if they can make it out of the second round, but they can make it out of the first round. And then I still got Phoenix. Phoenix is gonna be the MVP, is not the MVP, is gonna be the champions, I think. That's who's coming out. That's a bold prediction, but that's who's coming out. If Paul George was healthy, I would have had LAC. But I got Phoenix right now. My boy CP3 isn't going to get injured, and he's going to get finals MVP because the NBA world's ridiculous, and they're going to give it to him for some bullshit. But that's going to happen. Bold prediction. That's where I'm going.
Mike, final thoughts.
My final thought is that these next couple weeks are like one of my favorite times in sports. We got the NCAA tournament wrapping up. I think my Miami Hurricanes are going to win. You're wrapping up the regular season in hockey and basketball. Baseball starting to. I think it starts next week, or actually this weekend maybe. Perfect. And then in 2 weeks we got the Masters in golf. So it's just one of the times a year where there's just sports all the time, and I can't wait to watch it for the next 2 weeks.
We'll text later about about golf because we want to bring that on here. All right.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Tiger Woods. Yeah. Chris Rock.
I mean, just 1 second on golf. Like the Masters in 2 weeks is going to be huge for golf people because it's one of the first tournaments where LIV players and PGA players will be playing in the same tournament since the golf split up. So
when was that? Years ago.
It was 2 years. No, just last year was the first season.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Saudi Arabia financed a new golf league, and a bunch of the players left the PGA. A lot of good players too, young players, good players.
What's the name of that golf league?
It's called LIV, L-I-V.
Wow. Oh, I've seen that. Okay, yeah. Right on.
And so there's only 4 tournaments a year that aren't run by the PGA. So the Masters, the British Open, and the US Open.
Right.
3, sorry. And they're invite only. So the Masters invited the best players. So there will be both leagues will be competing in like an all-star type.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Okay.
A couple of Masters winners are now on tour, on the LIV tour, and it's they play 10 times a year. They make a ton more money than the PGA, but it's an interesting league. If you have some time to read up on it, the listeners, check out the LIV tour. I went to an event last year in New Jersey, and they only play three rounds instead of 4. They're playing music throughout. It's a much more relaxed environment. And then the Chainsmokers played at the end. So I'm a fan of it strictly for the fact that, I guess this is my final thoughts too, Jordan. I think with LIV Golf, it's good to have the competition there. Whether you support the Saudi money getting involved or not, it's good for golf because it's stirring up drama. It's creating noise. There's a new documentary called Full Swing out. It's good for the sport, despite the players being kind of pulled away right now. But it's forcing the PGA to make changes. And it's really good for that in the aspect that golf is going to progress and golf is going to take that step forward. I'm excited for the Masters.
So ultimately, you're saying it's like more fan engagement with
it's much. The LIV is much more kind of like modern.
Exciting.
It's more modern. It's for younger people.
Yeah.
Right? Like golf, PGA is very stuck in its tradition and history. And
right. Yeah, that's cool.
LIV's a lot different.
I'm gonna do some research. We got a couple more final thoughts. Jamal wants to get in on the final thoughts, and then but Drew, what do you got?
I'll make mine quick, man. I'm just gonna use my time to give a special shout out to LeBron James right now. Went into the season not even really excited because I knew we had a big anchor named Russell Westbrook trying to run the point guard, and I knew it just wouldn't work, but they found a way to dump that contract. I cannot believe they pulled it off and replaced him with D'Angelo Russell and a few of those the supporting pieces. And now him, when he went out in that game a month ago, I was watching that game live, and I can honestly tell you, man, I thought that was his Achilles popping, and I thought I just witnessed the end of his career right in front of my eyes. But then to see him take a month off, go through the rehab, and come back and look really strong in that first game, I can honestly say that I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. It's almost like a new season has started, and the Lakers have as much chance as anybody in the wide open West right now. So I'm looking forward to the playoffs, man.
Yeah. Jamal, final thoughts, sir.
Well, you know me. I want to make your minds think. So my final thoughts.
Great skin. Great skin. Shout outs to CMOS. Do you CMOS? Okay, go ahead.
What if athletes could bet on normal, everyday people?
Whoa.
And they bet on your statistics, whether you went to work or if you called in sick. Wow. And if they actually, they bet on...
Jamal, you're giving movie ideas. Can you keep them... Keep them. Edit this off.
Now imagine the players got mad and they tweeted you and had access because they have money. They could DM you and be like, "Hey, bud, what's going on? You going to work?" So sometimes you gotta consider some of these athletes have personal lives, and regardless of how much money you can make from them, I think we should respect their boundaries.
That's a great take, man. Great take. So I got 60 seconds.
Woo! Now
I have nothing to say, so I'm gonna improv something, and I'm gonna just say that shout outs to Russell Westbrook. I'm excited that I hope he gets in. I'm tired of Skip Bayless talking shit about Russell Westbrook. Every time Russell Westbrook wins, Skip Bayless doesn't say shit. Every time he loses, Skip Bayless has shit to say, and I'm tired of it. I unfollowed him on Twitter because I'm a big Skip Bayless fan because he keeps it real. But you're going for Russ. I don't like it. Other than that, I'm gonna look up this live golf tour league thing. That sounds dope. That's my 60 seconds. So
shout out to the first season.
First season. Congratulations. Champagne,
We did it.
shower,
Looking for the bottle.
champagne.
I'll take
That's
that.
dope, man.
Yeah, there we go. So in the meantime, all right, I'm Jordan Johnson Hines.
I'm Jamal.
Avery Adama.
Ryan Poyle.
Mike O'Reilly.
And Andrew Hinkson.
Oh, man.
And until next time, if you don't agree with the take, we go.
Flush that.
Oh, sorry.
Andrew Hickson.